One of the core strategies of the Department of Business and Economic Development is to make it easier for business to do business. Because when we do, guess what? You're more likely to do more business in the state of Maryland. You are more likely to invest, you're more likely to create jobs. And when we look at those efforts, obviously it's critical as a state that we coordinate across agencies. And so when we speak about the micro level, and forgive me because usually we like to stay up here and we're going to take it down to the level of a single permit. The fact is that single permits can affect investment. Single permits can affect what happens in the state. And what we sought out to do at DBED a little over a year ago was to ask the question to a number of our stakeholders: what are the biggest impediments for you to do business here? What are the biggest challenges that you face? What are some of the things that we as state government control that you could need assistance on? One of the issues that came up and came to the forefront was access permits. And essentially, if you seek to do any major kind of construction or development, you're going to need an access permit. I don't care where you are throughout the state, it's one of the permits that's sort of part of the core mix. And specifically what we talked about was that there was a perception that maybe 15, 20 years ago there was a process that worked really well, and today it had arrived at something different. And stakeholders had issues and they were confused about the process. What we sought out to do, and I sat down and I spoke with Secretary Swim-Staley about this, was to start from a premise that we're not necessarily going to agree on everything, but we are going to agree on that we want transparency, we want predictability, and we want timeliness. And every single stakeholder, whether they be business or government, that's something that we can all sign up to. And by the way, in general, when you look at what markets, whether they be states or whether they be countries, for businesses to invest, those are three tenets that are very ever present. And so, together with the Secretary, we kicked off an access permit group to specifically look at this permit issue. And I was asked to chair that. We had outside stakeholders, we had SHA, and we divided up into three groups. A group that was focused on customer service, a group that was focused on state and local coordination, because often when you have permits, there's state issues, there's local issues, and a group that was focused on the actual permit process. We spent 4 or 5 months together, breaking it down and trying to come up with a new process. And so we're going to hear a little bit more about that, but the fact is that when we work together, we can move the needle on these kinds of issues. And many of these issues are quite granular. We have to get down to that level because that's at the level that you do business every day. And we're committed to doing that. And frankly, this wouldn't have happened without the Secretary's leadership and SHA's desire and willingness to be a strong partner in this effort. Secretary, if you want to